Hey guys, this is a quick video on the Everlast PowerTIG 200 DX. Okay, here is the machine and I'll walk around so you can get a view all around. Whoa. There's the other side. Here's the back. And here's the hookups in the back. This machine came with a foot pedal. It came with this stick welder thing. I don't even know what you call this. It's a adapter, stick welding adapter. Came with a, this is actually a power adapter so that you can plug it into the wall. And a, what is this? A SR26 torch and cable, hose. And it came with this flow meter. Please ignore all this stuff over here, just this. Alright, so the first thing I did with this machine when I got it is I took off the torch, which is a SR26, and I replaced it with a WP9 torch. You can see the difference in size if I take this off. It's a lot easier. So there you go. You can see the size difference. And so the reason I replaced the torch is this is really heavy and unwieldy, and this cable just sucks. It's like really stiff, and you can see the difference with this, how wobbly this cable is. Much better. And so the reason, I mean, you could use this, but it's going to be a lot harder to weld. And the reason why this kind of stinks is like when you're holding it like this and the cable's sticking out the end, it always kind of fights where you're trying to make the torch go. Whereas a setup like this, it's much lighter and it's easier to handle. It's kind of an unfair comparison. So one of the reasons this is so easy to handle is I took the sleeve off, so it's just the cable. And on this guy, it's got this sleeve, but if I were to take this sleeve off, it would still be this thick, heavy cable. Why don't I take it off? I'll show you guys. Alright, so here, okay, so here's the cable. It's still, you can see, it's a lot thicker and like stiff as compared to this. So it's a cheap cable. It's, I mean, comes with the machine. You can't expect too much. So this torch is made for higher amps, like 200. And this is only made for like 120, I think. I think it's like 120. If you were to weld with this at 200 amps, it would heat up really fast, probably overheat quickly, and yeah, I don't recommend this for welding at 200 amps. It's just not made for it. This is a Superflex rubber cable, 150 amp, and the connector came separately. When I got the cable, it was just the cable, and I had to buy this separately. And this is a, what is this? This is a 100 amp DINS connector, part number Q56-150. When I got it, it had this connector on the end for the argon input, and this was the wrong size. So I got this thinking this was the right size, and this is totally wrong as well, like really wrong. And so what I did was I took the connector, which is the one that's on here now, I took that off of the hose, the cable that came with the machine. I just cut it right off and I put it on here. So the cable that comes with the machine, it's I don't know if this comes off. It looks like it's all one piece. Yeah, it's all one piece. There's no way around using this, repurposing this for this cable. So that's why I got this DINS connector. And only thing to know about this connector is this little nub you see here, this was a little too large, and I had to grind it down a tiny bit because it wouldn't. It was a little too large to fit into the machine. So once I made this tiny little modification, it fits just fine. So now with the modified DINS connector and the correct gas connector, This just goes right on, no problem. And this, like that. Okay, so when I first got my machine, I picked up a gas lens starter kit, and it came with a bunch of stuff I didn't need, and it cost a lot of money. And it just like all these different sizes of tungsten and collets and lenses that I didn't need. So all you really need is a 1/16 tungsten. This is a 2% lanthanated, and that pretty much does everything. You need a 1/16 gas lens, a 1/16 collet to go in the lens, like this, and a number 8 cup. That's it. Also, you might want to pick up a short cap, a stubby cap. Goes on the back like this. If you're going to get one other size tungsten, I recommend going one size up to the 3/32. And if you do that, you're going to need the 3/32 gas lens and the 3/32 collet. So the reason I recommend the 3/32 tungsten as the next size up is the first project I did was I welded this small welding table, and the 1/16 is not quite large enough for this type of welding. So the 3/32 will do just about any type of welding that's not bicycle frame related. There's only two things I don't like about this welder, and one of them is the draft it creates from the fans inside. It's got these cooling fans, and it blows a lot of wind out here, out of the front, and on the other side. And I don't know if this is a common thing for this type of welder. It might be. Maybe they all make that much draft. But to combat that, I put this behind a curtain when I'm welding, and that keeps the wind and draft down. The only other thing I don't like is this foot pedal on the bottom. You'll notice I put these here, and that's because without these, there's these screws, and the screws are made to hold the bottom plate on, so you can get at the parts or replace things. But that's it. So if I took these little plastic foot pad things off, it would just be sitting on these screws, and these screws would just get worn down to nothing, and that would be very bad. So I don't know why they didn't have some kind of thing here so the screws don't get all worn down. So yeah, I had to put these on here. And that's important because when you're welding, you're constantly repositioning like this and kind of kicking this thing around, so it needs to be really sturdy, and it is pretty sturdy. It's just this situation was just really bad. You can see it actually kind of started to wear down before I realized it, and then put these on. So, and now the things I like about this machine. So the main thing is all the dials. It's all analog, and I find that really easy to use, especially if this is your first machine. You just turn the dials to change your settings. Really easy. Flip some switches, whatever. Some more expensive inverter welders, they usually maybe only have like 2 dials, and you gotta go through like this menu. With this, all the dials, they all do one thing. And the other thing I like about this machine is it works. It's never caused me any problems. I turn it on, I do my welding, and I turn it off. I mostly use this machine for steel up to I think 3/16 of an inch, and it's always done just fine. I've welded some aluminum with it, not a lot, just a little, and I've never stick welded with it, so I can't really tell you how good that is. I probably should have told you guys this isn't an actual review, it's just my general thoughts on this machine. If you want to check out some reviews, just do a search and you'll find some reviews on this. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you are new to my channel and you want to see this in action, you can check out my videos page. I've been using this machine for about a year and it's been great. Alright, that's it. I'll see you guys later.